So one of my viewers asked the question, hey, do you happen to have any management tips when it comes to inclusion students? So in today's video, I will be sharing my tips for inclusion students when it comes to classroom management. Hey teacher friends, Michelle here. I'm a behavior strategist and I help teachers and schools learn how to manage their students and their classrooms with less struggle and less stress. So today we're going to be talking about classroom management tips when it comes to inclusion students. Now, let me say, when I first heard this, I'm like, I don't know, because every student is different and their background is different, but I am up to the challenge. So let's start with the tips. So the first tip is to get to know your inclusion student. So when you first meet your student or student group, spend a few minutes asking them questions about who they are, what they like, and what their interests are. This can be very helpful in connecting with them as you go throughout the school year. This will also set a really good foundation for your students getting to see your personality and see that you are a safe place or a safe person to learn with. Tip number 2, get educated. Make sure that you're reading their file. So whether they have a special needs plan, they have a behavior plan, whatever their accommodations are, you really want to get educated on what they are. And I suggest actually that you create a really quick reference guide or a cheat sheet that you can have on hand to remind you of what your student will need or really what works well to help your student learn in your classroom. Tip number 3 is to create a what if list, meaning what if a certain behavior happens? What can you do? What are your options on how you handle it? Because it really may be different from your general classroom. So you want to create a list of maybe 3 to 5 things. What if the student is disrespectful? What if the student is disruptive? What if the student won't do any work? What are your options? And really make sure, if you can, that they match or come really close to their plan or their accommodations. Tip number 4, and that is to have a backup plan. So what is your backup plan if all else fails? So if the student has a meltdown or if the student's finished early, what is your backup plan? I suggest that you have 1 to 3 core activities that you can engage the student in as you are trying to find out what to do next in any given situation. Tip number 5, ask for help. Find the person who's over the special needs program or over the inclusion program and get help from them. Maybe they can come in and observe and give you some pointers. Maybe they can connect you with the homeroom teacher so you two can have a discussion, but don't try to do this all on your own. You were never meant to be an island in this. That's why there's a team hopefully in place. So make sure you ask for help. Tip number 6, give yourself grace. All you can do is do your best. And your best is sufficient. So I hope these tips were helpful for any teacher who has inclusion students in their classroom. Also, if you happen to have tips that you think might be helpful to teachers with inclusion students, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.